There has been one digital download that has been killing it on Etsy lately. According to eRank, multiple stores within the top 20 daily sellers recently have all been this exact same product. And what product is that exactly? It is this product right here, Tumbler Wrap Digital Downloads. And yes, I am being serious. This store here is just one of the many top selling shops selling these Tumbler wraps. And guess what? They are making 500 to 1,000 daily sales. And another guess what? All of these designs can and are made with AI. And if you want a full tutorial on how to make these with AI, I did make a video of this just a few videos again. I can link it up here, but also go check out my account. And you can see here, according to eRank, there are over 11,000 searches for these Tumbler wraps. And yes, there is a lot of competition, but if you just scroll down, you can find tons of sub niches with a lot less competition and that are still getting a decent amount of searches that you can design in. So because I was learning how to make these for that video tutorial I had done, I actually was also listing them in my Etsy shop. And one of them sold the very next day. And some of them kept selling, which eventually made me start creating more and is leading to this video where I tried to sell them for 30 days on Etsy. So I want to share those results with you to see if this is actually a viable side hustle that someone can actually make a decent profit with. But I do have some disclaimers first that are just applicable to my store, which might vary. And the first one was I had revamped an old store to do this, so I already had some sales and some listings that were other digital downloads. I just didn't want to create another whole Etsy because I have way too many emails. And honestly, when I first started this, I didn't expect to be making this type of video, so I wasn't really accounting for that. And over the time that I was selling these, my other products actually got a boost because my store was getting a boost because I was getting these Tumbler wrap sales, which actually made some of my previous digital downloads that I had created that stopped selling, it made them start selling again. But in all of the results today, I am going to be talking about the sales for just the Tumbler wraps. I've done the math and minus all the other sales that I got from the products that were just my regular digital downloads. So again, as I mentioned, when I first started, I was creating these to sell. I really didn't know I was going to create this video until a few days later when the sales were actually picking up. I was just one, testing, and then two, it was actually working. So I continued doing these to just build up some extra sales, some extra income for myself. So when I first started, my first 2 days, I was super motivated. I got up tons of listings. I spent 2 full afternoons, probably like 4 or 5 hours each, getting up new listings and mastering my prompts. Problem after that is I kind of burned out, not just on doing Tumbler wraps, but I've got a few different businesses that I kind of shoved to the side. So after those 2 major sparks of motivation and getting up tons of listings, the month after wasn't so great, and I was just getting up a listing here and there. Over the month, I got up 70 listings and 50 of those were probably just in those first 2 days. So my first listing for the Tumbler wraps was listed on May 15th, and I was lucky enough to get my first sale on May 15th, but I will say that was with the use of ads. Problem is, it was not profitable, but I was okay with that. To start getting some of the wheels moving on selling these Tumbler wraps, I was okay accepting a loss of profit for my first few sales. And of these sales here, of these 132 orders, 94 of those were Tumbler wraps, with the rest being some of those digital downloads that got revamped and started reselling because my shop started gaining again some momentum. And from just these Tumbler wrap listings, in a month, I made $213, but after Etsy fees, it came out to about $202. And you can see my stats here for the month, and what might shock some people and might not shock some people is the proof right here of just how much posting on Etsy consistently will help your store. You can see here that in the beginning, like I said, I was going crazy on designing at the very beginning, and my sales were reflecting it. And I got up to one day with 10 sales a day. The problem though, as soon as I kind of stopped listing, which you can see at the end of the month, you can see my stats heading towards the floor. And here are my ad stats for the first 2 days. I only ran them for 2 days. I'm a huge fan of organic search, so I really wanted to focus on getting organic sales. But again, I did start with Etsy ads to kind of kick off my store. What I had also done back then was I was pricing my Tumbler wraps super low They were at like $1.50 USD. Over the month, I did also raise those, which could have also kind of resulted in some of those sales dropping. But the $1 profit might just be too small for some people. So I wanted to show that they also will sell. I raised them to $3 later on. Sometimes I would run sales, so it's hard for me to say exactly what the pricing was over the month for these because I was changing it up so much. But I ran over $10 in ads and I got about 8 sales, which came about to $7.50 profit, which made me about $7.50. So obviously I made like a $3 loss on running these, but what I did get was that kickstart to some of those sales. Something I'd like to mention to people that are just starting on Etsy and might try to attempt something like this, I was only comfortable running these ads because I am an experienced Etsy seller. I know how to create good mockups. I know how to do my SEO, and you need to nail these down first before you're running ads to things that are not optimized. This is why for some people, I recommend getting your organic sales up first because you really need to nail that down before you can even dream of running ads that will one day become profitable for you. Another thing I would like to mention is that because, again, this store had already had some sales and reviews behind it, people could trust buying from me more. And as a brand new shop, it might be a little bit harder, especially if you're trying to get your first sale as an organic sale. Ask friends to purchase from you. Get family to purchase from you. Make some sales yourself with another account. I'm not recommending it, but I kind of am. Just don't do it from the same IP address and don't put in the same address that you use for your Etsy account. This is not legal advice. Don't listen to me. But get those first sales and reviews from friends and family so that strangers can actually trust buying from you, because getting your first sale as an organic sale from a stranger is going to be a lot harder. And I know a lot of people are going to come to me saying, okay, congrats, you made 94 sales on a very low ticket digital download. No one's going to be able to live off of that profit, but let's go over some math. So again, I only created 70 listings. Those big Tumbler wrap stores that are making 500 to 1,000 sales a day have over 6,600 listings. That is more than 94 times the amount of listings that I got up. So I made 94 sales in a month. Say I had that 6,600 and it's scaled proportionately. That would be just short of 9,000 sales a month and daily sales of over 295. Okay, still only 295. That is not 500 to 1,000 sales a day. But these people are doing so much that I did not do. If you take a look at these stores, it seems to be like a popular thing within these Tumbler wrap stores to open your own Facebook group community. And I joined a few of these and they've got some loyal followers. People are buying from them. They're sharing the things that they created, these Tumbler wraps. Because if you didn't know, for Tumbler wraps, what a lot of people are doing is they are sublimating their own products. It's like a craft. So they're buying this to make for themselves using their own like sublimation machine or whatever it is. I've never used it. I know people are going to correct me on that. But they are doing active marketing and I'm part of it. And they are posting every single day their new listings. And they have a ton of loyal community members that are going to keep purchasing from them. That is something I did not do. I don't have the time for. This is not my main side hustle. Taking a look at their sales, a lot of their sales, in fact, majority of them are bundles. So these are like 10 Tumbler wraps that are extremely similar, maybe like watercolor dogs, and it's like a different type of dog breed. And they sell 10 of them in one Etsy listing worth $10. So not only are these way more profitable than just selling the one-off Tumbler wraps, but they are also selling way more constantly than just a single Tumbler wrap. Majority of sales for me were actually 2 best sellers that immediately started selling and just kept selling, and then a bunch of these 70 kind of would sell at a one-off here and there. But my most popular ones were 3D floral tumblers and watercolor animal tumblers. This is the 2 that I really focused on once I started seeing what was working. In the beginning, I was posting tons of things, but these were the ones that were selling for me. So I started making more of these to try to expand on those. But again, later in the month, I kind of fell off of it. So do I still think that this is possible today? Yes. Do I have the time and patience to do it? No. Can this quickly become saturated because of AI and how quickly people can get these up? Yes and no. You should be competing on the amount of effort you put in. A lot of people are never going to have the patience to put up 6,600 AI listings. It sounds easy, but what I learned when creating these in Midjourney is you are going to get tons of results that are, what's another word for poo? I'm not allowed to say that word, I don't think. But you're gonna get tons of really, really bad results. And it's not as quick as it seems to get these listed. So if you can compete on effort, if you can be that person that can be posting on Facebook groups, can be on AI and building your store quicker than anybody else, being more consistent than anybody else, then there is your competitive edge. If I had no other businesses to run right now, I would be putting in a lot more effort into creating these. It was fun, but it does become tedious, but it's just a preference on what you like to design for. I love to design for my print-on-demand store. I don't know why. I've tried many other stores and they kind of just fade off versus I always come back to designing for my print-on-demand. It's just something that doesn't feel as tedious as others for me versus this one personally became a little bit more tedious, but again, for others, might not be the same case. And again, if you're interested in the actual full tutorial on how to create these and list these, check out my video. It is going to be linked up next. Thanks, guys.